Welcome aboard Tristan and Tommy's Runaway Railway. For your safety, please remain seated and enjoy the show. Welcome to Please Remain Seated, a theme park podcast hosted by two theme park enthusiasts that work for the industry in Central Florida. In our show, we talk about theme park news, reviews, our Passholder Karen of the week, and other general theme park discussions. In today's news, we talk about Club Cool just opened back up at Epcot, as well as the new Space 220 restaurant. Iron Gwazi and other Busch Gardens SeaWorld coasters finally got some opening dates. The Tron coaster at the Magic Kingdom might be doing some test and adjust soon. And we'll be reviewing Remy's Ratatouille adventure over at Epcot. So a lot of Epcot news this week, Tristan. How are we doing?
Doing good, Tommy. You're right. A lot of Epcot news. Epcot's going through some stuff right now, and me and you, Tommy, we're going to be at Epcot in a couple days. What are we going to be there for, Tommy?
All right, at Epcot. So this is going to be recorded before October 1st when we finally upload these episodes. But on October 1st is when the new fireworks shows are going to debut, but a couple days before that, on September 29th, they're going to be live streaming Harmonious at Epcot at 9 p.m., which is, at park close at Epcot. So they're basically soft opening the ride, but they didn't officially say that. They just said we are live streaming Harmonious September 29th at 9 p.m. So you're doing a preview of it, basically. So you and I were going to be there for Harmonious before that officially debuts. I am very, very excited for Harmonious.
As am I. They've been talking it up now for a long, long time, years, I think, at this point. They've been saying that it's going to be just the flashiest, biggest Disney fireworks show that they've done. So I think it's going to be pretty cool.
And seeing the barges in the center of World Showcase Lagoon and seeing the animations of it at the Epcot experience in the Odyssey building, and knowing what the show is supposed to be about, kind of celebrating world cultures through Disney music and some of the artists they've announced for the show, it's going to be really awesome. I'm very, very excited.
Definitely. Well, should we hop into the news, Tommy?
Hop into the news, right back to Epcot. Epcot Central Florida heavy this week, but Club Cool and Space 220 have opened. I believe Space 220 opened up on the 23rd. I honestly don't remember the exact date, but Club Cool actually opened on September 15th, and I actually got to go to Club Cool's opening day. I remember being there on its very last day of opening back in 2019, and I got to be here for opening day in 2021. And they have all new flavors except for the Beverly. The legendary Beverly has returned, and they have some other really good flavors that they debuted. My personal favorite is the cucumber Sprite from Russia. They also had a new watermelon drink, and I really should have had my list ready of all the drinks that they had. So I'm just going to pull those out real quick.
While you're doing that,
yeah,
I will. I'll say that I have not been to the new Club Cool yet. However, I missed the melon Fanta. I think it was frosty melon Fanta or something like that.
I've heard a lot of people say they missed the melon Fanta. They do have a watermelon drink from the Philippines now that I really enjoyed.
Okay.
The other ones I really enjoyed, there is this apple flavored drink from Korea, and this drink from the Dominican Republic that tasted like a creamsicle, like an orange creamsicle. That was really good.
Wow.
Now, out of all the new flavors of Club Cool, the one that easily is the most hated is this drink from China that tastes like it tastes like barbecue sauce. When you want a refreshing beverage, you don't think I want to drink some barbecue sauce, but China said bet, and it's awful. I know some people say they like the Beverly, or people like to hate on the Beverly, but it's genuinely way worse than the Beverly if people don't like the Beverly.
Oh my gosh. What else they got there?
What else they got here? Let's see here. They have this drink from Madagascar. It was pretty good. To me, it kind of tasted a bit like a Laffy Taffy or an Airhead. I think some people have rated it pretty highly. I thought it was okay. Very, very sweet. And then from Moldova, a raspberry drink that was also very good. So just mentioned all the new drinks there, as well as our old favorite, the Beverly. So definitely check out Club Cool the next time you get there. There is much longer waits. We had to wait 30 to 45 minutes before going in on opening day. It's not like the old Club Cool where, everybody just storms in, everyone's walking to each station. They have just one individual party per station now, which is honestly pretty nice. So if you don't mind waiting for that, like it's pretty cool.
Oh wow! It's
Yeah.
funny. I haven't been back yet, but I heard that the syrup that they use for the Beverly, it just
Hmm.
sat, for the many months that Club Cool is closed, and they use those same, you know, syrup boxes that have been sitting backstage forever, and it actually made the Beverly taste better.
Really?
No, I
You
made all
know,
that up, but it would
I
make
mean,
sense because that stuff is terrible.
I believe that. I
Oh
actually
man.
the other week went to Disney Springs with my girlfriend and went to the Coca-Cola shop there before Club Cool opened back up, and we had the Beverly's Revenge like cocktail alcoholic beverage. My girlfriend actually really likes the Beverly. I powered through the cocktail. Like I was like, does this taste too bitter? And she's like, that's just the Beverly, um, which I've had before. And I feel like whenever I go to Club Cool, I always try the Beverly, even though I know I'm gonna hate myself. Where I'm like, maybe I will like it this time, and I'm just forcing myself. Like the last time me and my girlfriend was like, hey, let's take this shot of Beverly. I'm like, all right, let's do it. And I regretted it. I
Yeah.
always regret it, but I have to.
When you were at the Coke Lounge, did you see if they have the melon Fanta there? Because they used to have it. You could buy a full cup of it.
I didn't. I honestly didn't look for it. I feel like I've heard people say they have it there, but I didn't see myself.
Oh, I'm gonna have
I
to
didn't
go
look
there and
for it.
see. All right.
Speaking of Club Cool, though, we didn't say it, but the new Creation Shop also opened that same day, which is their replacement for Mouse Gear. Did you get a chance to go into the Creation Shop?
I did go in there. I was very impressed. I liked it. I liked how open it was, how you can kind of see
Yeah.
everything from wherever you're at. There's not big, tall shelves that block your view. You can see where
Yeah.
everything's at when you walk in.
Yeah, no, it's definitely a nice, sleek shop. Like very, very nice. I like what you said, like that's very open as well. My biggest qualm with the new Creation Shop is that I sort of feel like it's a store that I would find at the mall or Disney Springs. It doesn't feel super Epcot to me. I don't know if that's me. Like, I don't know if I'm like being nitpicky about it or if like it doesn't feel super Epcot to me. Maybe if they just changed the music or something in there, but
Yeah, I would agree that it doesn't feel very Epcot-y. Like Mouse Gear had so much
yeah,
stuff going on. Um, I don't know if I mean I don't know if that's a bad thing or not.
yeah.
I don't
Like it
know.
is a very nice shop, and like I think whenever the center of Future World to become, or when it's World Celebration or whatever opens back up, it'll be a nice, because right now you can still only get to it if you go to the, what is it, the east side of Future World or wherever where Test Track is. Like you have to go around that way to get to the Creation Shopping Club. Cool. But like it's the same location as Mouse Gear.
Yeah,
um,
it's cool though. I do like the shop. They had a lot of selection there. I would say a lot of new merchandise too that I've
yeah,
noticed.
a lot of cool Epcot merch in there.
Yeah. All right.
Cool. And then our other Epcot news is Space 220 finally opened up. I feel like it's been very impossible to get a reservation there. It's just been getting really, really busy. But this restaurant that I feel like it's been like it was supposed to open a while ago. I know COVID had stuff to do with it, but it just feels like the date just kept getting pushed back. And it is a space themed restaurant where when you first enter, they actually take you in a space elevator that's supposed to simulate you going 220 miles up into a space station for a high class dining experience. And from reviews that I've heard of it, I've heard the experience is awesome, and I've heard mixed things about the food there. Some people have said it's really good. Some people say it's like Applebee's quality. And it also could depend on what items you get. But one thing everyone agrees on is that it's expensive. For lunch, it's $59 per adult, and for dinner, it's $79 per adult, which is insane. Have you heard anybody talk about Space 220, Tristan?
I just saw some footage of it on YouTube. Haven't been yet. I don't know anybody who's gone yet. But the one thing that I noticed that I thought was really cool was they went up. Whoever was filming went up to like the windows that you're looking out of into space,
Yeah.
and it's not. It doesn't appear to be like a two-dimensional screen.
Hmm.
It almost appears like no matter what angle you look out the window at, it changes. Your view of Earth changes. If that
That's
makes
cool.
sense. I don't know how to describe it very well. It's not. It doesn't look like they just put a TV up against a window.
Yeah.
Is what I'm saying.
Yeah, like I said, I've heard the theming there is incredible. So I would really love to go for the theming. I know they do have a lounge that like you don't need a reservation for, but I'm sure that gets really busy. Um, because me, I would like to try the dining experience, but I also just want to see what the place is like without maybe getting the whole dining. Like I know there is good food options. I saw a Disney food blogs video on it. It's funny, I don't remember exactly what items she said were really good, but I remember her saying that their pasta options were not very good. That's the one thing. That was my takeaway. But me, I'm passionate about pasta. You know that. I don't know if anyone else
Oh,
knows.
I know very well. But let's take a moment to just shout out AJ from Disney Food Blog. That she
Yeah.
is like just it seems like the coolest person ever. My girlfriend Allison loves
Hmm.
AJ. Everyone
Yeah.
loves AJ.
Honestly, like it's very like just comforting if I'm like if I don't if I'm at home not knowing what to do, just throw on a Disney food blog video. It's just kind of nice, relaxing to have in the background. Just get some new Disney news or food reviews.
Dude, honestly, we wouldn't be offended if you shut off our podcast right now and went and watched some Disney Food Blog.
Yeah, honestly, I wouldn't at all.
Because once you click play on our episode, it gives us the download. So I really don't care
Yeah.
if you don't finish
Incredible.
it.
Anything else about Space 220 before we move on to our, I think it was our final piece of news. We had one other.
Yeah, I think we got one more. Let's hop into it.
Yeah, our other piece of news is that Iron Gwazi over at Busch Gardens Tampa, as well as other Busch Gardens World coasters, finally got opening dates. They had several coasters that were highly anticipated that were supposed to open up in 2020 or sooner, but then COVID kind of halted that. And I'm particularly been following Iron Gwazi because it's not too far from me, and it's going to be a major RMC hybrid, which RMC hybrid coasters have become very huge in the coaster community. Me myself, just coming off of my Cedar Point trip a month ago, after riding Steel Vengeance, I'm like, oh my god, we need this to open now. It was literally testing before everything shut down in 2020. Like they actually had a train test in March of 2020 before it was supposed to open in April 2020. But then everything happened and they've just been pushing back the opening date. And Iron Gwazi is now officially opening March 2022. So almost 2 years after it was basically complete, it's finally opening up. Also got Icebreaker at SeaWorld Orlando finally opening in February. Pantheon at Busch Gardens Williamsburg. That's supposed to be incredible, opening up next March as well. So basically, they pushed all of their major coaster openings to spring break 2022 because I guess they felt business. I think the corporation felt business wise it would make the most sense. I heard the parks themselves have been wanting to open them, but the corporate heads are like, now we want to wait for a better business opportunity, which part of me could have felt that like at least in the Florida parks they could have capitalized on the 50th anniversary of Disney World to like open up some of their major rides because fall break does tend to get a little bit crowded down here. It does get crowded more in October, and especially this year with the 50th, it could be like, hey, go down to Disney and then also come here and ride this incredible roller coaster.
Yeah, very true. It's crazy. You're going to have to be doing some traveling next year, Tommy, to hit up all these new coasters, huh?
Oh, I definitely will. Like
Yeah.
the second, because I'm a pass holder at SeaWorld and Busch Gardens. So, I actually just went to Busch Gardens Tampa for the first time last week. So that might be an upcoming review. And I will definitely be reviewing Iron Gwazi when that opens up. Um, like I know I think just only a foot taller than Steel Vengeance. And the drop is like, it's the steepest drop on any hybrid. It's like, it's a beyond, like it's 91 or 92 degrees steep.
Wow.
And I already know it's going to be one of my favorite coasters. I think, and this is just kind of my prediction, it will either be the best or like second best roller coaster in Florida. Like the only one topping it out would be Velocicoaster,
Goofy's
which
Barnstormer.
that too. um, but like of note with Iron Gwazi, so Velocicoaster was still like very early in construction in 2020, and that opened this summer when Iron Gwazi was just sitting there. Um, so actually, when Iron Gwazi finally announced that it was going to be opening March 2022, whoever runs Universal's Twitter page like put up a tweet. Thank you guys so much for your patience. We're happy to announce that Velocicoaster has been open this whole time,
Oh
which
my gosh.
is brutal. But either way, we're very, very excited for Iron Gwazi to be opening up. Tristan, you think you're gonna come to Busch Gardens with me?
I think I will. I haven't been, and Tommy, you're the guy to go with. So I think I'd have to go with you.
Absolutely, yeah. It was a good time. I'll that might be the next. That could be the next theme park review?
Yeah.
Question mark? Who knows? We'll see. Um, But any other comments about our news, Tristiano?
No, no comments about the news, but this is a perfect segue. Speaking of rides that were supposed to open at one time and got delayed to another, let's talk about our ride review for this week, Tommy.
Oh yeah, both you and I are going to be reviewing Epcot's newest attraction, Remy's Ratatouille Adventure. It's set to open up on October 1st with the 50th anniversary of Disney World. But this entire past month, they've had pass holder previews, DVC, cast member previews, and all that fun stuff. And Tristan and I got a chance to preview it a few times. And Tristan, I'm going to let you share your thoughts about it first.
All right. So I really enjoyed it, first of all. I went in with the idea that I'm going to be comparing it to Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway. Primarily, the ride vehicles are, identical technology. The trackless dark ride, a heavy reliance on screens, but a lot of practical props as well. And I think I actually enjoy it more than Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway because I feel the effects in Ratatouille are more effective. I feel like all the different things that your vehicle does, the way it reacts with things going on around you, how your vehicle physically moves, is actually better than how Mickey and Minnie does it. Because I think the only time Mickey and Minnie's vehicle actually like does anything is when it goes into the little thing where like you go down the waterfall. It tilts forward a little bit, but I didn't even know that until a cast member that works there told me. I didn't even know that was a thing. And then I think it gets shocked at the end. Like Goofy pulls the wrong lever and it gets shocked. That. I feel like Ratatouille's ride vehicles were much more impressive in that regard. I also love the movie Ratatouille, so I thought it was really cool to be able to enter that world. What do you think, Tom?
It's going to be really awesome for Ratatouille fans for sure. For me, I definitely thought it was a very nice, cute addition for Epcot. The ride itself is very cute, and kind of like you said, you kind of like go into it knowing that it's a trackless dark ride, so you can't help but make comparisons to Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway. And I honestly can't decide which one I like more, because I definitely think Remy's Ratatouille Adventure is definitely more cohesive in its story. Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway is a lot more random. And I remember really liking Mickey and Minnie's when I first went on it. But I think Remy's Ratatouille Adventure, that one's gonna be it might have the edge. For me, I kind of wish that it had a little bit less reliance on the 3D glasses and screens, but it is all done very well. And one thing that I really like about this ride is that it gives the World Showcase a new attraction. That's very good, because when I was a kid growing up, me and my family, we went to Disney World all the time. But whenever we went to Epcot, my parents never wanted to do the World Showcase because they're like, it's just shops and restaurants. There's no rides there, so they never wanted to do it. We would go to Mexico and Norway, then go back to Future World, where now Ratatouille will probably bring a lot more families into the World Showcase, which will be really good for it. For me, I feel like I feel like I've been thinking about it in context to the other rides I like at Epcot, and for me, it's probably like my fourth-ish favorite ride because I love Living with the Land, Three Caballeros, Spaceship Earth. So like for me, I put Ratatouille around where I like, Soarin' and Frozen. It's definitely going to be one of those premier rides. And something interesting to note is that's going to be opening with the virtual queue.
Oh, I never thought about that. Yeah. Wow.
Yeah, which like it is a great ride, but I don't feel like it warrants a virtual queue like Rise of the Resistance did.
Yeah, that's interesting, especially now that Rise doesn't have it anymore.
Yeah, Rise doesn't have it anymore, so I don't know if they can only do it for one ride at a time. But it's also the thing with Remy's Ratatouille Adventure is that it's the same ride that they had in Disneyland Paris. So it's not like they're making this whole new ride system, this whole new story. It's the same ride from over there, and I don't think they ever use virtual queue over there, so I don't know exactly why we would need one over here, especially with physical distancing measures not being used anymore.
Yeah, true. But I guess one more note I have and this is specifically the Mickey and Minnie's versus Ratatouille thing. Mm-hmm. In terms of your experience entering the attraction, I think Ratatouille has the upper hand in that.
Yes.
You're going into Gusteau's, right?
That's a great point.
It's really it's cool to be able to walk into Gusteau's and to see the sign because you're walking into a huge part of the movie. Whereas Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway is for some reason in the Chinese theater.
Yeah, it doesn't really make too much sense. I mean, your and I's friendship bonded over the hatred of movie ride closing and that ride opening up.
Yeah.
Um, I think when I finally went on Mickey and Minnie's, though, I was kind of like, this isn't that bad. But I feel like recently I've been starting to not like it more.
No, I'm the
Like
same.
I've been like just thinking about it more. I'm like, man, this ride really does not make any sense. It does not.
My
It's like this.
bitterness for Hollywood Studios has subsided. I'm getting more comfortable with the
Yeah,
park again, but I still don't know why they had to close one of
I
the
know,
most unique attractions in Disney park history
for real.
for something that could be put anywhere.
It's like, yeah, because like my bitterness was subsiding. I feel like recently it's been coming back up again for some reason.
Yeah.
Not sure why, but yeah, like because like for me with Hollywood Studios was my favorite park a long time ago. Like it was my favorite Disney park. But then I feel like once they started taking away the Hollywood theming and then the cancellation of Great Movie Ride, that just kind of completely like it's no longer like the cohesive park that it once was. And it's like a lot more like kind of random hodgepodgey. It doesn't really have a collective theme like, Epcot with its world cultures and technology, Animal Kingdom with its animals and conservation efforts. The Magic Kingdom is the freaking Magic Kingdom. Hollywood Studios is now just Star Wars and other things.
I'll say this briefly before we move on to the next thing. But what helped me think about Hollywood Studios and helped me get a more positive outlook on it is
Mm-hmm.
think about Disney California Adventure, right?
Yeah.
It's a hodgepodge, but I didn't hate it when I went, and
Mm-hmm.
maybe it was because I've only
Yeah.
been once, but I kind of moved that mentality to Hollywood Studios and thought, you know what, it's okay that it's a hodgepodge. I just have to enjoy it for what it
Yeah.
is,
Like
even
I
though
think
it was better before.
exactly because the thing with California Adventure is that it started off as kind of a disaster of a park, and Disney even admits it in the Imagineering story on Disney Plus. There was an Imagineer that like was asked, "What do you think of California Adventure?" And when it first opened, he said, "I miss the parking lot because there used to be a parking lot where California Adventure is." But then like they updated it more, and the more stuff they added, it actually got better. Whereas Hollywood Studios, it had a cohesive theme and was a good park. And then, I mean, it's really not a bad park. It's just in terms of like Disney and it doesn't have a cohesive theme like it used to, I guess. But for what it is, like I mean, Rise of the Resistance is one of the best rides ever made.
Yep.
Tower of Terror, Rock and Roller Coaster, two of the best thrill rides ever made. Like Tower of Terror is incredible. Um, but anyways, Remy's Ratatouille Adventure.
It's good.
It's a good ride. Yeah, it's a very solid ride. If anybody else has been on it, let us know what you think of it. Do you think it was a good decision for Epcot to bring it over from Paris, or should there have been something? Blah, blah, blah. Anyways, Ratatouille. Um, should we move on to our Passholder Karen of the week, or do we have anything else to?
Tommy, go for it. I'm excited
Oh,
to hear. This is the first time you're doing this segment, so I'm excited to hear it.
yes, it is. And hold on, I like just had it up. Okay, here it is. So this person took a picture from the Epcot parking lot. It looks like they're all the way in Discover 17. Holy cow, it's only 7 and I had to park all the way out here. All this walking into the park. This is pathetic. They should have us some easier way to get us to the front. Us pass holders should have our own way in. And that's the Karen for
Wow,
the week.
that is well. That's a perfect. That is a Passholder Karen.
Yeah,
Um, wow. So okay. So she thought pass holders should have parking all the way at the front. Um,
yeah,
maybe, maybe.
maybe. I mean, I have like the only time I've had the pass holder should have this type of thing when you're going into a park and people clearly don't know what they're doing or they're having issues with their tickets. I'm always like, man, there really needs to be a line for people that know what they're doing. So I kind of get what they're saying, but I mean, also, unless you're paying extra for preferred parking, no. And what do you mean us pass holders should have our own way in? I guess, like you said, did they want their own parking lot for pass holders? Like, no.
Um,
No.
okay. Now 7 o'clock. I assume she meant 7 a.m., not
Yeah.
7 p.m. Okay. And then Discover 17.
Yeah.
That's the 17th row of cars.
Yeah.
Because yeah. So that's not really that far.
It really isn't. Like, I'm looking at the picture right now, and it really does not say. And Granted, in my opinion, I think the Epcot parking lot is probably the easiest guest parking lot because I feel like it's just one center road up to Spaceship Earth. Um, but it's still, that's not too bad. Um, I guess though one thing of note here is, the parking lot trams still haven't returned yet at Disney World as of recording this in September of 2021. Um, like even Busch Gardens Tampa actually had their trams for the parking lot, which I thought was kind of interesting. I think they're like the only parking lot trams I've seen at any park in 2021.
Oh, very
But
interesting. Yeah, that
anyway,
is. See, the thing is, and we're pass holders, Tommy, for
yeah,
Disney, and
yeah,
they we think that we need to have a little bit of everything to make everything
yeah.
better for us. We need our own line for this. We need our own thing for that. They should have built a second Rise of the Resistance just for pass holders. Like, cool it, people. Come
Where's
on.
the magic?
Anyway,
I
that's a
like
good
when
one.
people use that to complain about very mundane things.
Yeah, honestly,
Yeah,
like, I can't believe there was no soap in the soap dispenser. Like, come on, where's the magic, people? Like,
right. Yeah. It's like
right.
there is something to it, but I feel like for something like this, no, like just it's like any other theme park. Every theme park has a super big parking lot. Just
Yeah, you park
deal
your
with it.
car and then you walk. I don't understand. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
And at Epcot, like you said, Epcot is so easy. Like, okay, I can
yeah,
understand if you park at the back of Animal Kingdom, that
yeah,
parking lot is weird. I do not even
hmm
understand it to this day. And so
yeah,
that I would get that, especially if it
and
was 7 a.m. But
yeah, and like the Magic Kingdom too, because like the Magic Kingdom parking lot is huge, and then especially without the trams now, you got to walk all the way to TTC, and then you got to hop on a monorail or a boat. So
yeah,
that's a whole operation. But
it is.
for Epcot, I mean, come on.
Come on.
Come on.
All right, Tommy, that's a good one. What do you got next for us?
All right. So our final topic of today is going to be a discussion, and this is just things that I've been seeing pop up on pass holder pages and even like some of my YouTube recommendations. Um, with changes that Disney has done recently and things that Universal has been doing recently, I've seen some people say that they feel like Universal is like, I feel like I've seen a lot of people say, go, oh, I'm liking Universal a lot better, or that it could even potentially take over. I mean, I don't know if it would take over Disney because Disney is such a juggernaut. Um, but with all of the, what am I, nickel and diming that I think people have been describing as, because prices keep going up, a lot of the experiences or just services have been going away. Like, for example, extra magic hours are coming back, but they're only going to be available to deluxe resort guests. Fast Pass is returning, but as Genie Plus and Lightning Lane that you have to pay for. Um, the Halloween Mickey's Not So Scary couldn't come this year, so they did a 3 hour after hours Boo Bash, which was even more expensive, but a shorter event with less things. Where Universal, I guess they're a much cheaper option, and they've done a lot better with their construction. Like for example, with Velocicoaster, they built that in an entire year and did a month of soft openings, and they have another theme park on the way, and they're just kind of a cheaper option. Which actually, speaking of which, I just remembered a news segment we forgot to talk about, which was Tron is apparently hiring for Test and Adjust. I only just remember this because I had seen people like, yeah, didn't like Tron and Velocicoaster start at the same time, and Tron's nowhere near completion right now.
Yeah, yeah, that is
but
true. That
but
is
but just a
it's
little thing.
behind.
Honestly, that's probably my biggest complaint about Disney is that construction. I feel like just takes forever.
Yeah, for sure.
And I mean, I know like COVID sort of messed things up. I feel like even before COVID, just construction takes forever.
It really does. Just as a quick example, Pandora, I believe, took 8 years
That
off the
took eight,
top of my head.
really.
And I might not have the number exactly right, but that's from um, Camp Mini Mickey closing
Yeah.
to Pandora opening in April of 2017, I think. I want to
Okay.
say maybe it was
Because
six. Maybe it was 6 years.
because I know that Pandora opened in 2017, and I know they had to have announced it sometime after Harry Potter was either open or near opening. because I feel like a lot of people will say, "Oh, Disney did their Pandora Land in response to Harry Potter, and why would they do this on a franchise that's like not even popular,
Right.
like Harry Potter?" Um, and that's another complaint that I've been hearing. Some people have said that they feel like some of Disney's newest experiences are just trying to throw in characters and IP without actually creating a good experience itself. Like some people think like some of the newer rides aren't as good as some of their older ones, I guess. What do you think, Tristan?
If we're comparing Universal to Disney, I the only thoughts I have are based on like the thematic aspect, the theming
Yeah.
that each one can provide. And even though Harry Potter, I did believe, opened before Pandora,
Hmm.
um, I still feel like Disney nails theming more,
I would agree.
especially, and this goes back to why I think Disney can charge more than Universal is like, if you go to Universal, sure, you can walk through Harry Potter and the Jurassic Park areas and be like, wow, this is really great theming. But you also have to walk through the rest of the park, which doesn't have the best theming. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Like,
No, I know what you're
Seussland
saying.
is visible from this, and the Hulk is visible from
Like,
that. And
like
so,
I was gonna say, Islands of Adventure. I think it's easily the far superior park. I feel like the Universal side, especially like you said with theming on the Universal side, really is not that good. Outside of Diagon Alley with Harry Potter, really the Harry Potter lands are the only things in terms of theming that Universal has on Disney. I mean, which I don't even know if I can say they have them on Disney. It's just like more like on par with Disney.
yeah,
Um, I do think Velocicoaster has some good theming. Like for a ride that's that thrilling, and it's my favorite roller coaster in Florida easily. But something that like you would never see at Disney compared to Universal is that that's Jurassic World, and it's right next to a Jurassic Park Discovery Center, which is kind of cool, but it's like not the immersion you're going to get at Disney.
right.
Um, so it's like you can get cool, like you definitely get good theming at Universal, but it's like it's different. Like it's much different. Like Disney is an overarching more of an overarching experience over Universal. Um,
Yeah.
but anyway,
So that's what
um,
I think. If you're coming to Central Florida for the theming aspect of the park and not just for thrill rides, you're gonna get a way better experience at Disney overall than you will at Universal overall. But in the end, it's gonna boil down to, do you like Harry Potter more than Star Wars? Then you
yep,
might want to check out Universal, stuff like that.
yeah, and I guess depending on thrill tolerance, because I mean, like if you really are not a thrill ride person at all, Disney is where you're going. But if you want a few more thrilling experiences, then Universal Islands of Adventure is going to be where you want to go. Um, like another graphic that I saw, somebody posted like I think it was the Universal Preferred or even Premier Pass with the SeaWorld Busch Gardens Pass, and like together those were cheaper than it might have been cheaper than the cheapest new Disney annual pass.
I believe it.
I need to double check that. Um, but it was like 800 something for the Universal SeaWorld Busch Gardens passes together over the Disney passes, which I think the most expensive one is 1400, was it?
Wow.
Maybe 12 or 13.
Yeah.
But like you said, you kind of get the overall better themed experiences with Disney.
Yeah. There's that. This is a hot topic. So, folks, if you have an opinion on this, go ahead and shoot it our way on any of the social medias. We got it all, baby. So, comment
Yeah,
on something. Let us know what you think.
I had a thought, but it totally left my noggin.
You're thinking about pasta, Tommy.
Yeah, I really am thinking about pasta too much. Um, I feel like it's also because like there are some people who are very adamant about wanting to like be one way or the other, and I really don't like to be negative about things either way because I really like to just enjoy things. Like I've been enjoying going into like all the parks this month. Granted, it's September and the parks are not busy at all, so it's been really fun.
Yeah.
But it's like I have fun at all of them. Like why is it got to be like, oh, the magic is ruined, or I'm going to Universal instead now and all that. I'm like, just enjoy all of it. It's a good
I
time.
I always enjoy my time at the parks unless I have to park in Discover 17 or back. Then it's a terrible time.
They really need to give us our own entryway.
Oh man. All right. Well, I think that about wraps it up for this episode, Tommy. How do you feel?
How do I feel? I feel pretty good.
It's fun. It's fun. This is the most recent episode we're recording to October 1st, which is our release date. If you're listening to this, it's after that day.
Yep,
We
our
sure
other
appreciate
episodes
it.
were recorded in July and August.
July, August, and today is September 27th.
Yeah. So we'll probably be recording a little bit more frequently than that, like this maybe.
Yeah, definitely. I would like to do every 2 weeks or so. That's not set in stone yet, but
Yeah,
that's the thing
that'd be a good.
me and Tommy are comfortable with. Perfect segue. Tommy and I have a different podcast. It's a not safe for work comedy podcast. So no children if you don't like vulgar comedy, because boy, we go everywhere on it. It's called Two Useless Organisms. You can check that out on any of the podcast platforms and YouTube. We also got the social medias for Please Remain Seated. We got the Twitter, we got the Instagram, we got the Facebook, we got the YouTube. Check it all out, folks. Please leave a rating on Apple Podcasts. It makes a big old difference for us. Tommy, do you have anything to say?
One thing I'm going to throw out there, me and my girlfriend also started a theme park Instagram page, Brews and Coasters, brews_and_coasters, Tommy and Maggie. And we're posting some of our theme park adventures that we go on there. So if you want to see more visual, picture, and possibly video content, you can check out Brews and Coasters.
Very nice.
Also brews on top of coasters.
Mm-hmm. And then you take a picture of the pile of vomit that comes out of you after you do both of them.
Yeah. Good time.
All right, Tommy.
Cheers.
Well, thanks everybody for listening. Until next time, please remain seated.
And enjoy please remain seated with your hands, arms, and leg. Please